Hello Aries, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second. I have the tarot deck that we'll be using already shuffled, as well as the decks that I will be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Aries, in your recent past, you have releasing with the Lovers in reverse. So your recent past was kind of like a little life cleanse. It was getting rid of things, maybe even just specific people that didn't align with your worth. You know, kind of releasing your energy from things that didn't value you in the way that you deserve to be valued. Now, in your current energy, you have accept responsibility with the Strength in reverse. So right now, the way that I view this energy is this is an energy of taking your power back, which makes sense because your overall theme for the reading is step into your power. So this is taking your power back from things that have made you feel not good enough, not worthy enough, not lovable, whatever the case is, and using that to then create an abundant beginning for yourself, because you have abundance with the Fool. So this couldn't be any better, and it's a result of stepping into your power. So I feel like this is a very positive reading for you guys. Even if you don't necessarily feel like you're in a very positive place, I feel overall the energy is positive. So let's start, Aries, with your recent past, releasing with the Lovers in reverse. This is for Aries recent past, please. This is for Aries recent past, releasing with the Lovers in reverse. Recent past for Aries. More recent past for Aries, please. This is for Aries recent past. What does Aries need to know regarding their recent past? Yeah. 8 of Wands with the Death. So there was an ending in your past, and it was one that was very quick. It was a quick ending, and maybe like it was a long time coming, or you contemplated it for a while and then it just kind of happened. If this hasn't happened yet, this ending, I feel like it's gonna, and I feel like you already know it. Like it's already, you know, when you're in a relationship, and I'm not saying everyone's experienced this, but I certainly have, like, experienced those relationships that end well before they actually end. Like, you stop kind of being able to trust the other person, to communicate with them, and then, like, the relationship just kind of, like, ends before there's actually, like, the separation between two people. Like, something like that kind of energy. So, like, the ending was quick, but I feel like it was a long time coming. It could be to a job, like you knew you were going to leave. I mean, it could be anything. Recent past for Aries, because whatever it was, it didn't align with your worth. So it needed to, or needs to, come to an end because it isn't, it doesn't align with you. Recent past here for Aries, please. Recent past for Aries, please. Ooh. Strength with the 8 of Cups. Taking your power back. I understand what it's saying. This current energy is about seeing how you gave your power away so you make sure that it never happens again. But I feel like in your recent past, this is you taking your power back by leaving a situation behind. Or something walked away from you and now you're in the process of taking your power back from it. Either way, this is absolutely about stepping into your power. your strength, your confidence, all of that. Some pretty tough energy in the recent past, though. Recent past for Aries. Ooh. Recent past for Aries, please. I like this reading, but this feels about you. This feels a lot about you, like, learning your worth in a way. Or maybe you already knew it, but, like, strengthening that. Because, so strength in reverse of the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. You thought you really, really wanted something to work out. And there was, because you wanted it, and because you either had a lot of love for it, or you feel like you had a lot riding on it, or it was really important to you in some way, you gave away your power. You know, you were willing to maybe sacrifice your needs or your desires for the sake of something, or you didn't set boundaries, or you allowed yourself to be treated a certain way. Not that it was like, it's your fault this happened. That's not at all what I'm saying. But I do feel like you wanted something to work so bad that you did give your power away. And now I feel like you're in the process of kind of healing from that and fully taking your power back. Something that I've talked about a bit on this channel, but I feel like is absolutely something that should be talked about in this reading in particular, is I was in a pretty emotionally abusive relationship in my past for about 7 months. And it felt like a lot longer than that, but it was only 7 months, but it impacted my life for years after this relationship happened, and it's something that I'm still dealing with, kind of working through today. But in the beginning, you know, when this relationship ended, I spent a lot of time being very angry at this person, understandably so. Like, they treated me horribly, and my life was, you know, changed drastically in ways that weren't great in the beginning because of this relationship. Now, where I'm at in my life, I now see why everything had to happen, which is why I kind of talk from that place as well. But what I'm getting at is I, you know, didn't really actually fully heal from that situation until I was able to look at how I let that happen to myself. You know, I continued to stay regardless of how I was treated, and allowed myself to be, you know, spoken to, treated a certain way because I felt like I needed to in order to receive very bare minimum love. And I feel like we, you know, whenever we can look at the role that we've played in our own suffering, which is like, to me, the purpose of our healing and spiritual journey is looking at the role that we play in our own suffering, understanding why we play that role, what we're trying to protect ourselves from, and then healing kind of the root of that. That's where we start to grow and move forward into more abundant new beginnings. Because my life and where I'm at now and the relationships that I'm able to have is substantially better because of that horrible time in my life. And so what I'm getting at is that sometimes we have to look at how we have a tendency to give our power away to other people, because people cannot have power over us or our emotions unless we let them. And usually we let them because we feel like if we don't, something bad is going to happen, or we, you know, we have an attachment to that person or that situation for some reason. So I don't know, something that kind of came through regarding your past. So current energy here for Aries: accept responsibility with the Strength in reverse. Current energy for Aries: accept responsibility with the Strength in reverse. Current energy for Aries, please. Something that doesn't align with your worth, that you gave your power away to because you thought you really wanted it. I get it. Yeah. Okay, but see, that's not the energy you're in anymore. You're in this Empress energy. I feel like you're starting to really stand up for and see your value. Now, that is fantastic. That is such a good energy to be in. But I encourage you in that process to also kind of remember to forgive yourself for the time that you have given your power away. I think that when it came from healing from that relationship I mentioned, the hardest part of that healing process for me was to fully get to a place of forgiveness of myself for putting myself in that situation. I feel like when we start to see how we've been settling in places that don't align with our worth, the first thing that we tend to feel is shame. and we start to think like, oh, I can't believe that I did this, or I can't believe I let that happen, or no, there's a reason for that. You wouldn't know what you were. You wouldn't be able to take your power back and step into a powerful, healed version of yourself if you never gave it away in the first place. So it doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It just feels like this is kind of part of your journey, but through stepping into your power, it's almost like you're learning and you're growing in ways that you wouldn't have if your power wasn't taken away, which is what's helping lead you to like this new level of abundance. That's kind of what this feels like not just even Phoenix rising from the ashes kind of energy, but almost like leveling up in a way that you wouldn't be able to if you hadn't have experienced, which you have been. Current energy for Aries. Current energy for Aries, please. Ace of Swords in reverse. So that's the thing. You're recognizing you're deserving of more and you're deserving of better. But you're having a hard time, like, I don't know if it's making the right decision for yourself. Because of like how your circumstances would change. Well, I don't want to leave this job that treats me so poorly and doesn't value me or align with my worth because they pay me really well, or I wouldn't be able to pay my bills if I didn't have it, or I'm staying in this relationship that doesn't serve me and I'm not in love with this person, but I don't know where I'd live. You know, things like that, which are obviously completely valid kind of fears, I guess is a good way to put that, because we should never make a decision, especially when it comes to sacrificing our worth and our value for the sake of something because we think we have to, because you never have to. That is something that I have learned 1,000,000% on this journey, is that nothing in this life will ever require us to sacrifice our worth, and the only reason that we do is because we think we have to. And I think that that's kind of what you're struggling with seeing right now, is that it's almost like you feel like you have to give your power away, maybe for the sake of like stability or something like that. Even though I actually feel like this is, I don't want to say like a test, because I don't like that word test, because it kind of alludes to the fact that you could pass or fail. And I think when it comes to closing out cycles and stepping into new beginnings and stepping into our power, there's always going to be plenty of opportunities to do that. If you don't do it now, you'll have an opportunity to do it again later. But I ultimately feel like, we never want to make our decision based on material things. It can seem counterintuitive, but believing that your material needs are always going to be met on the journey to choosing yourself, because that's when you start to learn. The universe responds to what we believe, right? If you could wake up tomorrow and believe that you were deserving of all of the things that you need and desire, it'd be freaking easy to manifest and create that life. But we spend so much of our time staying in places where we don't belong, or where we're not valued, or what doesn't align with our worth, because we think we have to, which keeps us from that abundant beginning that we desire. The abundance ultimately that we desire. Current energy for Aries. This is a very quick reading. I don't know why. The messages are just like it's all making a lot of sense. Current energy for Aries. But there is this lack of clarity. Maybe it's like you should make a certain decision, or maybe you're second guessing your decision that you've already made because your life has changed because of it. I feel like, if there's anything I've learned, it's that only good can come from choosing yourself. It's hard to believe that when you're not used to experiencing that. Current energy for Aries. Stepping into your power is when you realize that you don't have to give your power away to anyone or anything in order to be safe, happy, or loved. Ooh, okay. there's a need to be very honest with yourself about something here. Not being fully honest with yourself about something. And you're carrying the burden of somebody else in this. You know, we always have to remember it's a wonderful quality to have love and empathy for other people and for, other people's situations and things like that. But, and you can help to the extent that you have the energy to do so. But whenever your helping starts to be you sacrificing your own needs and desires and worth for the sake of something, then that's where you kind of have to take a deeper look at things. The first thing that comes to mind is like, and as an example, I'm not saying this is necessarily what's happening, but like when, and this is kind of a deep example, but like when you are in a relationship with or love an addict, when you're dealing with someone who is an addict, that is extremely difficult because you have so much empathy for that person and you recognize that their actions are a result of their addiction and not necessarily who they are. So you want to love them and be there for them and care for them, to the extent that you can, but that can also be very draining on self. And you also cannot think that you can fix or heal anyone, right? You can't take on someone else's burdens at the sake of your own mental and emotional well-being. And I feel like that's kind of what either has happened or is happening in your life. And you're needing to recognize that you don't need to do that. Going back to that relationship I was talking about, I had so much empathy for that person. I could understand exactly why he was treating me the way he was, exactly why he got triggered, exactly why everything was happening, and I had a lot of empathy for him. This person, kind of had some stuff that they weren't dealing with, and it took it out on our relationship. And in my mind, I felt like since I understood why this person was treating me poorly, that it wasn't going to affect me. Obviously, that is not how things work. Just because we understand why someone hurts us doesn't mean that it makes the hurt or the pain go away. But I almost feel like there's this need to remember that, the love and empathy that you're willing to give out to other people, or to like for instance, like if you're like, I don't want to leave this job because what would they do without me? Well, to be honest with you, that's not really your problem. Obviously put in your 2 weeks, give them the option to kind of have the opportunity to kind of have time to replace you, or whatever the case is, a month, even if that's what you think is necessary. But I just feel like there's this need to learn to understand that it is not your responsibility to, how do I say this? It's not your responsibility to heal or take care of or fix anybody else. And that's why I feel like you have this accept responsibility card, is it's actually the only thing you have to accept responsibility for is yourself, your own healing, your own growth. And so I feel like this is, being very honest with yourself about where you were, where you've been, and kind of being like, was I loving this person or this situation over myself? Or did I think that I had to sacrifice my mental and emotional well-being in order to receive bare minimum love? Or, kind of asking yourself what it was that, how you gave your power away, and starting to maybe try to see that you did give your power away, and maybe starting to kind of understand why. For me, I realized that a lot of things that stemmed from beliefs that I had about love and relationships from childhood came up in that emotionally abusive relationship, and I literally thought that was like what love was getting treated that way. And I think we often don't realize how we give our power away because we believe that it's necessary in order for us to be safe or loved or happy. All right, immediate future for Aries, clarifying abundance with the Fool. Abundance with the Fool in Aries' immediate future. Immediate future for Aries, abundance with the Fool. All right. So if you know me and you've watched my channel for a while, I don't try to predict outcomes. I try to tell you what it is that you need to know in order to create the best possible outcome for yourself. So immediate future for Aries. What does Aries need to know moving forward? The abundance you desire. The 10 of Cups, which is like, yes, that could be like, obviously, the relationship you're desiring, but just your emotional fulfillment. Like, your 10 of Cups, what you look at as being like long-term emotionally fulfilled, this is still possible for you. And it does not exist in your past. So that's the biggest thing. I feel like, look at that. Then there's the 10 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles. So this is incredibly good energy. 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. 7 of Cups, I feel like there's a lot of doubt that you feel like this is ever going to happen. And maybe because you think that, what was it? What was the example that kind of popped into my head earlier? Oh, so when you kind of start learning your worth, you start setting boundaries in association with your worth, and you start saying, like, I'm not going to accept that. I'm not going to allow myself to be treated this way. For me, I started to question whether or not I would ever meet anybody in my life, friends or romantic partners, that would actually love and respect me, basically that would meet my standards. Like, I was like, am I being too picky by requiring that, people accept my boundaries? Or, am I asking for too much and asking to be treated, and with respect and loved unconditionally? And the answer to those questions was no, I obviously wasn't. But because I had never experienced that, I felt like if I wasn't giving my power away, if I wasn't sacrificing my needs and desires for the sake of something, then I wasn't ever going to have the opportunity at being loved. And I will say that is the majority of the reason why people tend to stay where they're not valued, is because they think it's not going to get any better than that. But this is like this, what this is saying is this abundant new beginning is absolutely available for you, like what it is that you're looking for, but it's going to require you taking your power back and recognizing first and foremost that you are deserving and you are capable and it is meant for you and you're supported on that journey. But then also, once you kind of can realize those things, making decisions that align with that. Immediate future for Aries, abundance with the Fool. I just realized the step into your power card is a first quarter moon and Aries card. So how did I not realize that? It's got your sign right here. So this is all about stepping into your power and creating the life that you're truly deserving of by letting go of what doesn't serve you, what doesn't align with you. Immediate future for Aries. What does Aries need to know moving forward? One of my favorite questions to ask is, if you knew you could have whatever it is that you desired, that you could be loved in the way that you desired, that you could have the financial abundance that you desire while doing what it is that you love, having work-life balance, feeling good about your life, waking up every day excited. If you knew that all those things were possible, would you be doing the things that you are doing right now? And maybe in some ways you can say, yeah, absolutely. But in other ways you'd be like, no, I wouldn't be. I'd be, taking more risks, or I'd walk away from these things, or, whatever the case might be. So many of us doubt what is possible for us. So we stay where we're at because it's easier. It's what we're used to experiencing. And so it's where we feel safe and comfortable. All right, immediate future for Aries. What does Aries need to know moving forward? Okay, Queen of Cups in reverse with the Two of Wands. What? Let me get more on this. What is this Queen of Cups in reverse saying? What the heck? What is this Queen of Cups in reverse saying? The thought of taking your power back, because there's a Strength in reverse, right? The thought of stepping into your power, taking it back, and reprioritizing your life, prioritizing you. Basically, the thought of getting into alignment makes you really emotional. It's like, I don't know if a lot of fear comes up or a lot of sadness. I mean, that was the hardest thing for me when I, first kind of started on a spiritual journey and started choosing myself, is I lost a lot of people in my life. I lost a lot of things and a lot of situations that didn't align with my worth because I was out of alignment with the things that I desired for so long, and that's hard. When we start choosing ourselves and stepping into our power and knowing we're deserving of more and demanding with love that we be treated how we deserve to be treated, we do lose a lot. You're going to lose things are going to fall off. People aren't going to be able to come with you. You're going to have to leave certain paths behind and things of that nature, but it only leads to good things. So don't let the overly emotional energy that tends to kind of seep in when you start to think about maybe some changes that you need to make, or like, how to take your power back or things like that, keep you from doing it. Because we never want to allow our emotions to control or dictate our movement, choices, and decisions. Our emotions are not truth. They are just emotion. And they're valid and you should experience them, but it doesn't mean that they are telling you what is true. Like if you're like, well, if I walk away from this relationship, I'm going to be alone forever. That's not true. Or if I choose myself and leave this job, I'm going to end up homeless on the street. That's not true. Well, if you believe it's true, you're going to act in that capacity, and so don't just like quit your job out of the blue or anything. That is what I did, but I don't recommend it. This is about really learning that to get into alignment, first of all, you have to believe that you are deserving and capable of being in that alignment. Because life is supposed to be an abundant flow. You experience good, and yeah, things aren't good all the time, but you have the dip into the bad, but then the good makes the bad worth it, and that's just kind of the flow of life. And you learn to make decisions to more prioritize the abundant life you desire, instead of making decisions out of fear, avoiding the life that you're afraid of living. We're afraid of being homeless, and we're afraid of being alone forever, so we make decisions to try to avoid those things instead of making decisions to try to say, how can I live an abundant, happy, fulfilling life? Because so many of us are taught to survive and not to fulfill ourselves. And I feel like this is about kind of getting out of that survival and, mindset of having to sacrifice and stay where you don't belong, and opening up your mind and soul to, an abundant new beginning for yourself. And so I do feel like this, the first step in taking your power back and in creating that is going to be recognizing that there's a reason that you believe you have to give your power away in order to receive the things that you desire. And, once you can kind of see what that reason is, maybe it stems from childhood or, just society in general, whatever the case is, then you can start to realign your beliefs with where you want to go instead of with where you have been or are right now. If you're not living the life you desire, including your relationships, it's because a part of you doesn't believe it's possible. All right, immediate future for Aries. Immediate future for Aries, please. Don't listen to your attachments, listen to your intuition. Don't listen to your attachments, listen to your intuition moving forward. Our attachments are going to be the things that we feel we have to sacrifice our worth and give away our power for the sake of. So if this is talking about relationships, I mentioned this a lot on my channel. I highly, highly recommend doing some research between the difference between love based in attachment and love based in connection. So basically love versus attachment, because it can give you insight to like, have I been living my life based on attachments, or have I been living my life out of love for myself and for others? Because I feel like, and I'm not saying you're not, but moving forward, this is what you need to know moving forward, is listen to your intuition, listen to your divine internal guidance, which we all have access to. Whether or not you've learned to access that through meditation or journaling or, seeing and responding to signs, that's one thing. But just kind of learning to tap into that divine intuitive guidance that lives in all of us, and not listening to your intuition, or not listening to your attachments. Because attachment is going to say, do whatever necessary to keep this thing in your life. Intuition is going to say, choose yourself, believe you're worthy and deserving, and that's going to lead you to what it is you desire. Your attachment, your ego voice is going to be loud, and it's going to be based in fear, and it's going to be the one that seems the most reasonable, or the one that you're gonna want to follow because it is based in fear. Your divine guidance is quieter, it's softer. So this is about kind of learning to tap into that over kind of fear and attachment. So, all right, Aries, we're going to hop on over to the extended. We focused on what you need to know right now. This extended is going to be what you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. So focusing on more the coaching side of this reading. Any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Aries, as always, for your support of my channel. I obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Aries, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aries.